What's going on, guys? I'm Delementary. You're about to see me play a game while I talk at you. I think they call that a commentary. We load in, not out. We don't pick from a list of 12 different rifles that do practically the same thing. Halo is an arena shooter, which means every gun has a unique look and a place on the map with a purpose. Almost every weapon is instantly recognizable to any gamer, and because of this, it seems like an injustice to have weapons thrown away or ignored just because they're worthless. Let's talk about the weapons that have lost their place, and how we can bring them back for Halo 5. Welcome back, friends. This is Del. Let's talk Halo. One thing both 343 and Bungie got right in past games is the precise balance of form and function when it comes to the weapons sandbox. Halo has a rich lore, and that's never been ignored when the weapon design comes into play. The game stands out as a sci-fi shooter because of the inherent diversity of the weapon selection by offering guns from different factions, Human, Covenant, and now Promethean, all with their own unique properties. This offered the freedom to change the status quo of preconceived weapon behavior. The plasma rifle isn't just a rifle, and the plasma pistol, as we all know, is so much more than a sidearm. But I think the flexibility of the balance should be taken even further so that every gun has a place. We all know the loadout system that Halo 4 tried. A lot of fans didn't like it, and they say it's because it made the game more like Call of Duty. But let's get more specific. In Halo 4, 343 tried to balance each rifle and each automatic with one another, so that anyone could feasibly start with a BR, a DMR, a light rifle, or a carbine, and have a fair chance in most fights against any other. They did the same with the assault rifle, the storm rifle, and the suppressor as well. But in the end, we ended up with an oversaturation of guns and a dumbed down meta. And I'm not hating on Halo 4, this is fact. And the proof is with the game itself. Let's look at Halo 4 Pro Mod. In this modded game mode, the automatics were tuned differently so that the storm rifle had no bloom and the suppressor had inverse bloom, so it got more accurate as you shot it. On top of that, the concussion rifle shot slower, more deadly rounds. And these changes all meant that the weapons you'd normally pass up laying on the ground, people were scrambling for. It meant at close range, a suppressor would outgun a BR every single time. These were all weapons that 343 tried to balance from a loadout perspective, but ended up making them weapons that simply weren't as fun to use. It's important to understand why the loadout system doesn't work for Halo, other than just saying that it makes it more like Call of Duty. The two operate completely differently, and it changes the gameplay. In a loadout system, every gun has to be balanced relative to the other guns in its own category, and then balanced to match the intended range. This way you get a ton of submachine guns that all behave with similar stats for close range, a bunch of rifles that behave the same for medium range, and a bunch of snipers that all work at long range. It's relatively uninspired, but it works. An arena shooter operates differently. It hinges on a single idea, the fact that everyone starts exactly the same, with a single utility weapon. It's simple, yeah, but it creates a canvas for art. When everyone starts with the same weapon, it opens up the freedom for every other weapon on the map to be more powerful in some way, even if it's small, and worth having in your back pocket. Unlike Call of Duty, where a rifle can simply be made better or worse to balance itself with the other rifles, each weapon in Halo is unique, so it can only be tuned to work with its intended purpose on the map. This makes crazy power weapons and niche guns feel natural in Halo. You have to fight for that weapon. The stronger the weapon is, the more incentive it creates for map movement to control it. A diverse sandbox not only adds to Halo's lore and makes the game more exciting, but it changes the entire meta of a competitive Halo game in a really good way. So let's look at an example of a weapon that could return drastically differently in Halo 5. This commentary ironically was inspired by a glitch that several people noticed while playing Halo 2 Vista. In the PC port, the Covenant carbine fires at a speed so fast that it's considered a power weapon. That's right, people are actually running to grab the carbine over something like the plasma pistol or the sword. It fires so fast that you can easily outgun a BR at close range, but because of the reticle size, the BR will still outperform long range. It creates this automatic separation of specialty. These are the kind of tweaks that we should be looking for, changes to the weapon that give it its own special niche and make it powerful when you use it correctly. There's no reason to confine a weapon like the carbine to behave exactly like the BR just because it falls under the same category of rifle. The carbine looks and sounds unique, so don't let its function suffer by making it another homogeneous rifle. Dominating close range is a great reason to pick one up, rather than it just being a slightly less powerful mid-range weapon that's always overshadowed by the BR. It's so important to have every gun in Halo be as useful as it is rememberable. I'm not saying 343 needs to change every gun into a power weapon. Retuning is not the same as buffing or nerfing. It means change. This is a window of opportunity for meaningful change in Halo 5. So what weapon would you like to see changed? Do you have a favorite that doesn't really work very well, but you like the sound, look, or feel of it? I'd love to know. Thankfully, 343 has confirmed their arena gameplay attempts for Halo 5 multiple times, so we don't need to worry about going back to something like a loadout system. But now is where they can really step up and make the experience something truly iconic. This has been Delementary. I'll see you guys later.